Dank Souls 3. So, starting out, I'm gonna be a little bit more mature because I'm not mature in real life. And let's see here. What class do I want to be for a playthrough where most of the entertainment is probably gonna be through my demise? You know what? Let's go deprived, because I hate myself. Sovereignless Soul is a burial gift, because everything else is pretty much absolutely useless. For our face presets, we'll go... Oh god, these are all terrible. What the hell? How does this guy even see? Oh god, these are awful. The commoner's like the only one that looks normal, and I am way too lazy to change anything else. You know, we're gonna go super ashy. This man hasn't used lotion within at least 70 years of his lifetime. So, you know, we're gonna go him because, you know, we're doing it for the memes. So, anyways, this is not a game that I would consider myself an expert at by any means. So I think not being an expert at the game, but having a general knowledge of it, having beaten it once or twice, will give a good balance of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Misery, pain, and victory. Sure, we'll go with that. But mostly misery and pain. Because, I mean, just look at us. We are not prepared to take on this unforgiving world of Dank Souls. But you know, we're gonna make it work. Oh god. As you can see, the wooden plank. Not the best line of defense, considering there's a giant hole that you can literally see through. And you can't even parry with this thing. You literally charge into your death. So we're gonna two-hand the club because that's way more guerrilla, and I like playing guerrilla characters. So we'll start out disposing of the first enemy in the game. And we'll trade hits because I'm already taking damage from the very first enemy in the game because I'm awful. Over here we have a soul of a deserted corpse. Definitely looks deserted. And I believe, you don't drop anything? Okay, fair enough. Over here, past this guy right here, we have our Ashen Estus Flask, which gives us mana back, which we will never be using. Because magic is for people who like to cheese games. And I don't like to cheese games. I like the challenge. So we're going to make this as challenging as possible. So the cool thing about Dark Souls, besides people shooting arrows at me, is everything you see in the background, including this giant castle, will eventually be there. We'll eventually go explore. Club this guy in the face. That's the one thing that I've always loved about Dark Souls games is, you see a place that looks interesting, cool, because you'll end up going there. Typically. Now over here, in this tunnel, or I should say valley, is a place I am going to avoid because I am just an ashy, starving commoner. And there is something that we like to call a crystal lizard that will probably eat my face, and I'm not gonna mess with it. So everyone who's like, oh, this guy's gonna go get the crystal lizard on his deprived build and probably die. No, I'm not doing that, sorry. I don't even want to mess with that guy. So I'm just gonna go up here and light the bonfire where it's warm and cozy. ahead and rest, get our rest emote. And if you're a little bit observant, you can see down here that there looks like a pathway that goes down. Obviously this is the way they intend you to go over there, but we're gonna go see what's down there. First, dispose of this guy. As you can see, plank shield doesn't even block full damage, so that's why I never don't even feel the need to wear it, because these guys are pretty clumsy anyways. Man, this club is sick. Just bashing heads in. This is awesome. I'm actually pretty glad I picked the deprived build. I'm probably not going to be saying that once I fight Gundyr, which is the first boss we're about to encounter, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Gundyr's not terrible. Not terrible to deal with. And right here we have a bunch of assholes. Oh god. Thanks for the fire to the face. Okay. Pick up some fire bombs, giving us a little bit of a reward for going off the beaten path. And fire bombs are very effective against the first boss that we're about to encounter, but you know, fire bombs are probably more useful later, so we're just going to save them. Go ahead and rest up, respawn the enemies, and get my health back since I am the total pussy. That's going to go off from. So right here they have an item up there, and even on this message it's telling you how to jump, which is by far the hardest thing I've ever had to try and do in Dark Souls, is jumping ledges. So we'll try this out and probably fail. Ooh, we got it! Oh my god, that's the first time ever. Titanite shard too, nice. Alright, so go ahead and get this guy's plunging attack. Take his fading soul. Avoid this arrow. One-shot this guy, and get ready for the boss. Now the cool thing about the club is that you get with the deprived build is there is a weapon art that buffs your attack. Weapon arts are something that is with pretty much every weapon in the game. Every weapon has its own specific weapon art, and with the club is we have something called Battle Cry, which buffs your attack. So we'll do that first before pulling out the sword from this guy's heart and fight him with some buffed attacks. Go ahead and start going ham on him before he can even have a chance to say hello. Whoa. And he didn't like that very much. Okay. This boss fight is heavily dependent on dodging with rolls. So here's the second form, which is not fun to play against. The game makes it seem like you want to be far away from him, but that is not the case at all. This guy is not someone you want to be at a range face. And we make quick work of him. A very scary boss when you're first playing through, but you'll soon realize he has very telegraphed attacks that are quite easy to deal with. And we got our Ember restored, which is very nice to have. That is how you play online and get your phantoms to come out and help you out or fight you, depending on how they like the way you look. And judging by the way my guy looks, they're probably gonna want to just get rid of me. But anyways, over here we just go through this door after beating Gundyr, and we gain access to that tower I was talking about at the beginning of the game. There's the fancy tower. Castle is over there, and that is Lothric, the kingdom of Lothric, and we will be going there shortly. go ahead and dispose of these guys for some extra souls. Oh my god, you are an asshole. That was pretty sweet. And over here we have a nice little pupper that is ready to be pet. A very friendly pupper, I should say. Maybe not. So we'll go ahead and deal with him. Sleep tight pupper. And over here we get an ember for our troubles. So basically when you die, you lose your ember status, and you suffer from a debuff in your health and stamina. So unless you want to beat bosses, wait until you beat a boss to restore your ember, you have to use those items. Now up there, not entirely sure if you guys can see him with my shitty bitrate, but there is a guy that we don't want to mess with right now, unless we cheese him, which I am not going to do. I'm going to save him for another time. He drops a really cool katana called the Uchi katana. And if you want to go super weeb all game and use katanas, then that is where you start. But you know, we want to do a manly build. We're starting out in the struggle. I mean, just look at my guy. Losing the ashiness, only to become a little bit more gray. You know, we're not starting out well, so we don't want to go the honorable samurai route. That's fucking lame. We're gonna just go brute force guerrilla strength build for this playthrough probably. But you know, I might change my mind down the road. But as of right now, that's the plan. So enough fucking around, we'll go ahead into the Firelink Shrine. Go ahead and take a gander at all of these thrones that don't have anyone sitting on them except for one. And we'll figure out about it right now. Talk to you later. Go ahead and go talk to Babe first.
Welcome to the bonfire, unkindled one. I am a firekeeper. I tend to the flame and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones and must be delivered to them. To this end, I am at thy side.
Alright. So she is how we level up.
Ashen One, to be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen One, bring me souls plucked from their vessels.
So, if you haven't already been able to tell, this is basically home base, where you will always find yourself coming back to level up, reinforce your weapons with my man Andre back there, and buy items from the Shrine Maiden right here. We'll talk to them later, but as of right now, you know, I'm gonna go talk to this guy, because he's kind of an asshole and he's funny.
Ah, another one roused from the sleep of death. Well, you're not alone. We unkindled are worthless. Can't even die right. Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the Lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to link the fire. We're not fit to lick their boots. Don't you think?
Not fit to lick their boots. This guy discouraged us so much from our adventure that we even got a new emote. The collapse emote. Oh no. Starting to just realize how bitch-made I actually am. Alright. But anyways, we actually are going to go talk to Andre really quick because I do not feel the need to have an Ashen Nessus Slice because, like I said, magic is for cheaters.
Well, I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith. Such is my purpose.
Alright, So here, you can reinforce our weapons using those Titanite shards that I so gracefully picked up early. But we need 2 of them. We can also infuse weapons, which gives them better scaling, better damage, depending on what kind you want. We can't do any of that yet, so we'll just ignore that. Repairing equipment isn't really anything necessary because your equipment automatically gets repaired whenever you go to a bonfire. So as of right now, we'll just go ahead and add a 4th health pot. And here also you can reinforce your Estus using Estus shards, which basically gives you an extra one.
Pretty be careful.
But we don't have any Estus shards yet, and they are quite hard to come by. So we'll worry about that later. But for now, we'll go ahead and burn the soul of a nameless soldier. Give ourselves a cool 2,000 extra souls. Go into our inventory. We have 7 fading souls. Go ahead and use all of those. 350 souls. And we'll use the soul of the deserted corpse as well. So now we have 6,000 souls to play with. And what I'm going to do with that is probably use them all to level up. Remove these. But before we level up, we'll go ahead and put in the sword that we worked so hard to get. So now that we have 6,000 souls, go chat up.
Produce the
Bay
coil,
over here.
the mark of Ash, to Lothric, where the homes
And
of the
she's
lords
basically telling us we have to
converge.
go to Lothric next.
Very well.
But
Then touch
before
the
we do
dark
that,
nourishment
I want to
from
get a
these.
little bit stronger. So the nice thing about the deprived build is that I start all at base 10 and soul level 1, which basically makes it cheaper at the beginning to level up my stats. So what I'm probably going to do, since I want to kind of go for a strength-based build, is level up my strength. How many points? So I have 8 levels to work with. Alright, so what we might do is go 14 strength and 14 vigor. What I want to do is get my vigor, which is my health, to 20 because it basically has a little bit of a soft cap at 20 and will be good for a while, and then go from there. I leveled up my strength to 14 just so I could have a little bit more damage on my club and possibly get a better weapon from Lothric.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Okay, is there anything else I wanted to do before I head out to Lothric? You know, I think we're fine. So, this will be it for the first episode, kind of like an introduction. I'm sure everybody has played through this part, no matter, you know, or at least seen it. So, I know this is probably going to be a boring episode. So, we'll just go ahead and hurry up and end it up, and I'm going to go on and move on to Lothric, and we'll see you then.